Not Nerd Podcast, episode 325, Glitch in the Ukraine.
Welcome to the Not Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Well, hello there, Nate. I don't want to start out the program criticizing you, but your 5-second dead air countdown, those aren't seconds, my friend. You're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
I mean, it needs to be 1,000. 1, 1,002. I mean, it's just, I think you're impatient.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Anyway, that's all I will say of that.
I apologize, future Dave, when you're editing and trying to line things up.
Well, the good thing is we've got our microphones. They seem to be working okay now, and there's not too much of like dead air, or there's not too much static and stuff where we have to use the dead air to clean it up and all that stuff.
Famous last words.
Yeah, this week will probably be terrible.
Yeah. Yes. Anyways, well, let's get into some follow-up. Last week, my pick of the week was the Stream Deck.
Yeah.
And I was saying that I wanted to get to know how to use it better and be able to customize it. Well, you found a podcast that I no longer subscribe to. Yes, I've actually unsubscribed to a couple podcasts, but it's called Mac Power Users. I believe it was the day before we recorded last week. They did a full episode on Stream Deck power users. Mm-hmm. And they have the large 32-button Stream Deck. And we're talking about the possibility of having two 32-button Stream Decks with some little connector thing that they found online, which seems insane to me, but it was very interesting. I'll put a link in the show notes if you are curious about the Stream Deck. I didn't hear them mention the iOS version in their podcast. Maybe because they're just committed to the hardware. But like I said last week, I think that's a good way to test it out and kind of get a feel for things. But they get into the weeds. They went on for maybe a couple hours on all aspects of Stream Deck.
I think David Sparks did mention the iOS app, but was not favorable of it. So it was just a mere nod, like, oh, you don't even want to try that thing.
Yes,
whatever.
But they are doing, I mean, when you think about it, if you have a 32-button Stream Deck, that's basically like a complete second keyboard
you
can have every kind of shortcut, and they're doing all kinds of wild stuff that I couldn't even imagine needing to do. But it was just ironic timing that they had put that episode right when I decided to make it my pick of the week.
Well, it's a good resource. I hope you can glean something out of it.
Yes. Clubhouse. Remember Clubhouse?
Vaguely? Is this a Disney Channel show?
Yes. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Don't get me on the song. Clubhouse is the app that came out I think it was like 2020, and it's a audio chat app, but they also had like a waiting list. So it was like another 6 months before I even got my invite to it. But you create clubhouses where people can join in and different people can talk, but it's audio only. I thought it was hilarious that I saw an article this week. Clubhouse adds text chat for those that don't want to talk.
Oh, wow. Which is probably 80% of the people who are on there.
Yes. And I will say Twitter now has Spaces, which I think is where most people have moved because it's just built into Twitter. And if you're already there, you can create a space and you have a lot broader range to get in front of people. But I've seen a couple pop up on my thing, and I have realized in this and other aspects of my life recently that I don't want to be on your schedule. I don't want to be when you're doing this live talk event. I want to listen at my pleasure, which is the joy of podcasts, the joy of a DVR, so many things these days. I just don't if I see your Twitter space, what are the chances at that moment in time that I just have an abundance of time to log in and listen to whoever it is talk?
Yeah, time shifting is something that has been around since the VHS days, which was the big thing. And there was legislation on, can we time shift TV? Is it legal? Blah, blah, blah. And so since the 70s, this has been a thing.
And cassette tapes even.
Yeah. So people have gotten used to the idea of time shifting content. And so, should it be different for social media?
Yeah. So I don't think too many people are probably using Clubhouse anymore. It's still a thing, but I thought it was funny that they're adding text in, because the whole reason that they built this app, a lot of people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And we oft talk about Amazon and the problem with fake reviews. And Amazon sues 2 companies that allegedly help fill the site with fake reviews. AppSally and Rebatest. They pay the companies, and those companies then get people to write fake reviews. And I actually had a real world experience that I was this week in texting. I was telling you about a while ago, where I had tried out a couple of the knockoff Apple Pencils, Styli for the iPad, and did not like them. And on one of them, I wrote a critical Amazon review. Well, I started getting emails a few weeks ago saying, hey, we are really sorry you don't like our product. We will pay you, I think the first one was $40. If you remove your review, we will send you $40 cash. I got one just a few days ago. They're now offering me $70 to remove my bad review from their product.
That is insane.
Yes.
And how many, pretty much everybody's going to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't want $70?
Yeah.
So the takeaway is you can trust nothing anywhere. You can't trust Amazon reviews. You can't trust anything on the internet.
It's too bad. And they're trying to fight this stuff, but it is everywhere.
No, here's an idea. Go back to Amazon and say, hey, these Yahoos are offering me $70. What are you going to offer me to leave it on here?
Yeah. Ooh, there we go.
Maybe $80.
Can I go to space with you, Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, if I decide not to game your review system.
Yes. But yeah, so it is very hard to take Amazon reviews seriously. If you're looking to buy something on Amazon, you're not sure, ask us, because if it has to do with technology, the bathroom, or food, we probably have some advice on the product.
I guess so.
Yes. So we are recording on Monday, February 28th, the last day of February. And Dave, I do want to ask, what are you doing tomorrow, March 1st, to celebrate St. David Day?
Oh, I didn't realize it was St. David Day, but it is first day of Women's History Month. So I was going to celebrate women tomorrow. I was going to do that all day. But now that it's St. David Day, what did St. David do? What was his miracle?
I have no idea. It just popped up on my Google Calendar. It is also the start of Moustache March, which if you have known me for many a moon, the month of March, we used to... I celebrated mustaches even more during that month, but you can go to mustachemarch.com, MOUS, not MUS, and see a vastly neglected website. It was actually the last website that I built all hand-coded, not using WordPress, which was back in it was at least 10 years ago, and I've barely updated it since then.
So use archive.org's Wayback Machine and look at that website, and you'll see that it hasn't changed at all since
yes, the last 10 years. It will, maybe once a year I update it to say Moustache March 2021 is here, which it still says on the website.
I think the other thing, since our world is upside down now with all types of things going on, is that it's backwards year. Everything's backwards. So you need to shave your mustache off this year. I want to see a clean shaven Nate. What do you think?
How much is my wife paying you to make this proclamation on the podcast? I just can't.
Nothing, but if there's money involved, I'll certainly, get in together with her. But you're looking very clean shaven. You just have
I took the beard out to switch it up a little bit and move into Moustache March. But all of that date talk, which we do the opposite of what most smart podcasts do, which is create evergreen content. We like to be very date specific. But the rumor is, it has not been announced yet, but there is a very good chance that next week, March 8th that they will be doing an Apple event, a spring Apple event. So we might be having a special Apple event episode next week if the rumors come true, covering whatever it is that Apple announces. And the rumors are all over the place at this point.
I've been waiting to buy someone at work a computer based on the rumor that there might be an event, because it's like, we can wait 2 weeks. I mean,
yes.
Can you not use your old computer for 2 more weeks?
It's just 2 weeks. We can't use that term anymore.
The world could end in those 2 weeks.
Yes. But you know what you can't wait 2 weeks for? Dave's Pro Tip of the Week.
That's right. And this week, I've got a doozy for you. And I came up with this tip just today, and we've talked about this in various incarnations, but I specifically want to talk about disabling explicit music in Apple Music. It's not as easy as you think it is. And the way this came about, I stopped by Panera Bread this afternoon on my way home and picked up my free coffee because I'm on their subscription plan and I have a 3-month trial. So I can just walk into any Panera Bread, punch in my code, get my free coffee, sit and use their terrible Wi-Fi and
lovely.
Their sticky tables to surf the web and do whatever, and drink my free coffee. So why am I complaining? And I was going to listen to some Apple Music while I was doing some emails there. And I went into the Glitch, the Apple Music alternative playlist that they have right now. Again, this is going to be gone probably by the time people listen to this in association with our timeliness. But I'm so disappointed in how many explicit songs there are out there. And one of them just came up and it was all, it's kind of pretty and the girl's voice, whatever, but the lyrics were just filthy.
Yes.
I mean, it was almost caught me off guard because it's like, nice. This is a good tune. She's got a pretty voice. And then boom, I expect that from like a rap song or something, but not like a regular song. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go in and turn off explicit lyric songs. And I do this occasionally, but Apple seems to make it harder and harder to find this stuff. It's like, first off, why isn't there just a button in the settings within Apple Music to just say, turn explicit music on and off, just a switch? I mean, that's something I think that people want. So if you have an iPhone, you just go into the settings and then you would think, well, there's music settings in here, right? So I'm going to go down to music and find it there. No, it's not there. It's not inside music. Well, that's okay. Where else could I go? Is it in the privacy and security type thing? No, it's not in anything like that. There used to be stuff in privacy that was related to that, but no, you have to go to screen time. And then you have to go into your own screen time and click the content and privacy restrictions. See the privacy? They used to be outside of screen time, and now they're inside and part of it outside. And inside of there is content restrictions. And inside of content restrictions, there's music, podcasts, news, and workouts. You can click in there and you can mark it as clean or explicit. So how's that for a way to turn it on and off? And what's interesting is that mine, I did turn it off and verified. I'm sorry. I have it as clean. There's 2 options, clean and explicit, and I have mine set to clean.
Yes.
So it's not a toggle, it's a checkbox that's in there. So anyway, I was thinking there might be a way to set up a shortcut to turn
to toggle
on and off. But I think the easiest thing to do is just to turn screen time on and off. But there may be other things in there that you want to block. Like, it's like if you don't want notifications to come in during a certain time and you turn it on, it's like, well, now I can't listen to my explicit music that I wanted to listen to. So you turn it off and it's like, now all these notifications are coming in. So I personally disagree with the way that Apple has this set up. But I mean, I wanted to listen to this style of music and enjoy the playlist that somebody put together. But 2 out of 3 songs are all explicit in that playlist. And it was just disappointing to me. And for all of you out there who are saying I'm just a wuss or a goody 2-shoes or whatever, I mean, look through this playlist. It's ridiculous. Almost every single song is explicit. So shame on you, music industry. Shame on you, content consumers who continually consume this explicit material like it's no big deal.
Yes.
And I would argue otherwise. So
no, that's a great tip.
That's me off of my high horse. So.
Great tip. I actually, I've been working a lot at a winery recently, and we have a tasting room. And one day I was down in the tasting room checking some things out. You know, I do marketing and IT stuff out there. Mm-hmm. And somebody was working the tasting room. There's some people in tasting the wine, and we use an iPad connected to the sound system to play music. And I happened to recognize a song that was not tasting room friendly that was just playing on there. So I am going to go into the iPad there and make sure this is checked, because again, you know, a lot of times I'll put on, if I'm turning it on, the coffee house playlist or something, but never fails. There's a couple explicit songs in there, and it just kind of catches people off guard, but it is good to know how to turn that on and off, because in my DJ world, there are times where people do want to hear the explicit versions of songs, and times when people would like to avoid that.
Yeah, so if you hit that switch, you can hopefully ensure that they're turned off. Now, I have come across a few songs that drop the F-bomb that are not marked explicit.
Oh my goodness.
And I've come across a few songs that are marked explicit, like Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot. There are no swear words in that song, but the material's a little racy. So I was curious as to why that song. And so if I want to listen to that song, I have to go through and turn off that's why I had it turned off, because honestly,
Baby
that
Got
song
Back is on your repeating playlist.
And before we leave Apple Music, I just end this topic. I wanted to look and see the top charts, because I've looked at this before, and again, very disappointed that the top charts on pretty much everything is explicit. So, top global 100. Let's see. I'm going to just look at the top 10 songs here. Number 1, explicit. 2, explicit. 3, explicit. 4, we don't talk about Bruno from Encanto. That's not explicit. But number 5, 7, 8 are also explicit on the top 100. Now, let's zoom into the United States. We've got, it's probably going to be very similar, if not worse. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10 are all explicit. So you can kind of maybe pick a top song that's not explicit, but wow, what does the world come to?
Well, and it is I correcting myself in real time. In the days when people listen to the radio all the time, there would often be a radio version of a song that is clean, but then when they would go to somewhere else to listen to it, they find that it is very not clean. So that's always an interesting thing to navigate. But you can often find clean versions they will still often do that.
Yes,
clean versions of songs instead of the explicit version.
Yeah, and I'm no prude. I consume content would probably make people's eyebrows raise. But man, when I just want to sit down and listen to some good music, I don't want cuss words in it. I gotta be honest with you.
Agreed. Well, let us move on to our takes of the week, and I'm going to encompass this whole section with the disclaimer that we are the most non-partisan tech podcast on the internet. I don't know if people have heard, there is an issue in the Ukraine over recent days.
Wasn't there a malfunction on some tanks or something that happened?
Yes.
I can't remember.
Yes.
Something's going on. Some glitch.
Some sort of glitch in the Ukraine involving Russia over there. And it is, as somebody who has tried to figure out what's going on over there, it is very difficult to get accurate information on anything.
Well, it is. We've got former presidents thinking the U.S. is invading over there.
Yes, so, yes. Well, yes, it is. The accuracy of information, as with most things, is all over the place. But there are some tech angles going on over there. The first one, payment services such as Apple Pay not available in Russia after U.S. and EU sanctions.
Yeah. It's getting rough over there. If I can't go order my latte at Rusk Bucks with my Apple Pay, then I'm ticked off. Yes.
And it does say payment services such as Apple Pay and Google Pay are no longer available to customers of certain sanctioned Russian banks. So the issue is that some Russian banks have been sanctioned by the U.S. and the European Union. So then you can't use Apple Pay with those banks.
Yeah.
Oy, oy, oy. The next one, a little more of a positive spin, if it's true. Elon Musk is providing Starlink in Ukraine. So there was actually I believe a Ukrainian vice prime minister of Ukraine, Mikhailo Fedorov.
Perfect.
Yes, he's
beautiful. Are you Russian?
Yeah, I am. His full title is Vice Prime Minister of Ukraine and Minister of Digital Transformation of Ukraine. And he tweeted on February 26th, he said, Elon Musk, while you try to colonize Mars, Russia tried to occupy Ukraine. While your rockets successfully land from space, Russian rockets attack Ukrainian civil people. We ask you to provide Ukraine with Starlink stations and to address sane Russians to stand. A little loss in translation there.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed you didn't try to do all that with a Russian accent. But
I don't dare.
Idea.
Yes, and so Elon Musk replied to that and said, Starlink service is now active in Ukraine, more terminals en route. And I did see a picture on the Twitter webs today, I think from the same Mikhailo fella, that there was a truck full of the Starlink terminals, which is what you need on the ground to connect to the satellites. So, man, Elon Musk, that guy he is all over the place doing all kinds of things. And it seems like this is a good thing that he is bringing in some Starlink and making it available to people within Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be haters out there. But remember when those students were trapped in the cave? He tried to send money and technology to help in that situation. Here's another situation. It seems to me that he is trying to use his resources for good.
Yes.
And meanwhile, everybody else who has just as much or more money than him sits on their hands and watches by the sidelines and tries to exploit the situation. So.
Yes. So, Starlink is, and there was some question I saw on, well, are you going to be charging people the regular price for this? What's going on? And, there's so much digital stuff in this, conflict going on over there as far as hacking and digital warfare.
Yeah.
We can say, which brings us to the next story. Twitter and Facebook have been restricted in Russia amid conflict with Ukraine. So
that's really helping Facebook's market share, I bet.
Yeah, that stock price continues to not do well. But yes, many internet service providers in Russia have turned off access to Facebook and Twitter, which no matter how you feel about Facebook and Twitter, when something is going on and you're trying to get information, whether you think that you're going to be able to find good information or not on social media, it is wild how this all changes in this new digital landscape we live in. And then our next one that we have, Google Maps, which there was some reports and I saw some talk that people were able to see what was going on over there and where things were moving and military movements and everything. They have temporarily disabled live traffic data in Ukraine.
Oh, that's smart, actually.
Yes.
It sucks for the guy trying to commute while the country's at war, but it keeps Russian military from seeing the movements of citizens so that they couldn't target mass groups.
Or military seeing military or any of that stuff. Yeah. So, again, just a couple different stories there that just show how, for one, with technology, how fast things move and how fast things can change. But yes, I hope for the right solution in Eastern Europe to come out out of this. Is that non-partisan?
Did you say the Reich solution?
Oh, jeez. Dang it.
Oh.
Yes.
The right. Oh, right solution. Okay.
Right. Whatever appropriate.
Actually, you should say the correct. Appropriate, not right or Reich. So, yeah.
May correctness come out of whatever is happening in that part of the world right now.
Chef's kiss perfect.
Yes. And after that, we definitely need to cleanse our palate with our bonus odd take of the week. And this is a site that you found, Dave. tinyinstruments.petrovichstefan.rs, which I will actually say, there are a lot of developers out of the Ukraine. I've seen of them like Downey, which we've talked about before for downloading videos from the web. There's a lot of technology that comes out of there and Russia. And so they're all navigating this as well. And so I'm making assumptions by petrovichstefan.rs. Is RS Russia?
Well, RU is Russian. I'm not sure what RS is, but it could be one of those.
There was only a way that we could figure. Oh, Serbia. So
it's kind of in that area.
Yes, in the general vicinity. So anyways, Dave, back to, why don't you tell us about Tiny Instruments, the rest of the website?
Well, this is not going to wow too many people, but I'm always fascinated by online little soundboards that you can find out there. And this is just a simple, well-designed little fun toy. And you click the play button on the website and you're greeted to a single instrument. And there's a left and right button on the page that you can go to a guitar, a piano, or whatever. And when you click it, it plays a sound clip. I'm not exactly sure what this sound is. I think it might be from a video game for the violin. The trumpet, some Latin bass stuff.
There's a keytar on there. Nice.
Yeah. And if you click the synthesizer or piano, you've got the intro to the final countdown. So it's just fun. It basically shows an icon of an instrument, very tiny in the middle of the screen.
Yes.
And then when you click on it, it plays a sound clip. So if you're looking for an opportunity to blow off a little steam and relax a little bit and have fun with a well-designed internet web page, then look no further. Yes.
And it looks like you can get the code off GitHub as well as I click around on the corners of the website. But yes, one of our famous, very simple, very unique, just something to try out that we find in the corners of the internet.
It's completely useless, but it's a lot of fun. And I really enjoy looking at well-coded websites.
Yes.
It gives me inspiration that not everything has to look like Moustache March 2021 .com from archive.org.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yes. Yes, it can be done well if the time is given. Yeah. You know what else can be done well? Our picks of the week.
And Nate, I wasn't putting down that website.
No.
But I'm just
saying,
do. It's been a long time since you've spent time on it. So I thought long and hard about this, about 60 seconds. And I thought my pick of this week is going to be creator content that can be found on YouTube and other places. And these people are known as Corridor Digital. And you can find their content at corridordigital.com or on YouTube. And these guys, what do I say about these guys? They are digital video effects connoisseurs. They actually have a small production house down in the LA area where they make stuff for commercials and maybe some small movies or whatever. But they have a cast of characters that they've pretty much created. It's themselves, right? They themselves, or a version of themselves, star in these things, these episodes, and they sometimes will go through and do tutorials on how to use a tool. They'll challenge themselves. Like the latest one on their website is, we compete to make the most disgusting CGI. And there's a picture of a guy's foot with a cheese grater on the bottom, and the stuff is falling onto pasta.
Wow.
Anyway, they did one that was like satisfying videos. Have you ever seen those where it's like a thing slicing?
Oh, yes.
Someone will go right past the blade, just barely missing it, and it just repeats in a loop. It's like a satisfying video. And then they made some of the most unsatisfying videos where it just hits it barely and throws the whole thing off. One of the other ones, I see Mark Hamill here as a young person in some of the new Mandalorian and different Star Wars properties that have been out for a while. They took an actor and deep faked a young Mark Hamill's face on it and compared it to Disney's version that appeared.
Oh, wow.
And this is a spoiler, but the Mandalorian that came out like 3 years ago. So anyway, they compared it, and they actually did a really good job. So
nice.
there's some newer content that has come out that they looked at, and they said, hey, Disney improved. Maybe they used some of our techniques to improve it. But
Very
anyway,
cool. Yeah, it looks like they do a lot of one of their common video themes is VFX artists react to bad and great CGI. It looks like they have in the 60s at least of those episodes, which would be fun to watch just to see them reacting to different movies. Because sometimes you're just going, how did this get into a major blockbuster movie with this poor CGI?
And there's been some movies I've seen recently. I'm like just waiting for the episode to talk about it.
Nice.
And it's like, oh, are they going to talk about this movie? Because that was terrible. And I'll just bring one movie up to look for. Recently, I watched Marry Me with Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson.
Oh,
and there was some...
I'm sorry.
It was okay. But there's some strange uses of some lenses in that movie. Almost like wide-angle lenses.
Yeah.
Like a GoPro or something. And all the edges are distorted, and you're like, why?
Why?
So anyway, I want them to discuss that because I'm sure it's going to come up on an episode. So things like that, if you're a movie buff or into special effects and you like to see them critique things, or they have some original programming where it's like a show that they made, or these tutorials, it's just really good content, and I watch it all the time.
Very nice. Well, my pick of the week is a variation of a previous pick. And
yeah, I noticed that in the notes.
Yes. So I don't know, a year or so ago, I purchased after advice from an Apple employee saying
Has it been that long?
I don't know. Well, timeout. Real-time timeout. Site, not nerd.com. So looking back, it was February 17th, 2021. So almost exactly a year ago. Within 2 weeks of a year ago, I picked the Whoosh cleaner on the advice of an Apple Store employee that said that's what they use to clean devices at the Apple Store, because my device had come back so clean.
I believe it's pronounced yeah.
Oh, I like it.
That's how you pronounce that.
Yeah, so I had bought the spray bottle and small... the little travel spray bottle, and I think I maybe have another one somewhere, and then a little microfiber cloth. Well, I ran out of this because, pro tip, Moustache wax is not friendly to screens and keyboards.
Ooh.
But I went on Amazon and I looked at the to see what they had available, and they have what looks very much like remember when everybody was fighting over buying Lysol disinfecting wipes at Target?
Canisters. Yeah.
Yes, at the beginning of 2020. Well, this is a canister like that, which comes with a total of 70 individual wipes. So you open just like Lysol, but it is their proprietary stuff in there to clean screens. And then it also came with a little bit different of a microfiber cloth, but it is, what is that, Dave? About 15 inches by 15 inches?
Yeah. I was going to say at least a foot by a foot, but maybe you're right. 15 inches square. That's a big one. And it's nice orange. They've got the nice orange color combination.
Yes.
And I kind of feel like their packaging should say not a disinfectant, because it is exactly a sanitizing wipe canister.
Yes. So there are I've had some different car cleaners and different things, but Screen Shine wipes. And I purchased these on Amazon, and I looked at the Amazon listing, and I was way off. This is actually a 14-inch by 14-inch microfiber cloth. So I apologize. I led you off by an inch in either direction. But yeah, so I bought these. They showed up. I tried to play up to my wife and daughter that I had some exciting package and opened this up, and then they're like, oh, my wife was semi-excited because she likes cleaning. But I immediately went and I cleaned our television, because I have a hard time convincing my daughter that the television is not a touch screen.
Yeah.
But I took out a wiped it all down, cleaned it up real nice, and then, kind of polished it with a microfiber cloth, and it looks like brand new.
And they were both, Dad, I see why you got this. This is amazing. Yes. We appreciate you.
Yes. But, so the whoosh, whoosh, products. I am a big fan, and I'm going to continue to use them. They clean things very well, and I do like the orange. They've got a good brand that they built in this. For the 70 wipes and the cloth, it was $11.99 on Amazon Prime, and it's got 4.5 stars on 901 ratings. So,
I Whoosh. I would have bought some of those.
Ooh. Yes. So with that, I think we will wrap up this episode. We've talked a bunch of tech at you this week. The news has been a little slow with global conflicts going on, but I think we might get that Apple event next week, and we're starting to get into the springtime where we should see more products. And I hate to say it, tech news is not going anywhere, whether it's good or bad. There's going to be tech news because we just use so much of it.
It's everywhere.
It is. It is very difficult. Like, even you think the people that hate technology the most, there's a good chance that they're using it quite a bit in their lives. So that's why we do this, and try to explain or help you understand it better so that you can get out there and tech better. In the U.S., everything is partisan.
If we just mention things like, that's the way it ought to be, that's the normal, then maybe the world will be a better place if they just assume what we talk about is right. This entire episode I'll speak a Russian accent, but it's really Scottish because I don't know how to do Russian.